Okay, so we have a very exciting guest today, an exciting episode because we are back in the original setting, the OG, at Karen's house at her dining room table. And we are going to chat about a very exciting kind of development at work that if you're a diehard customer, you may have already seen this, but if not, we thought it could be an interesting conversation. And so Karen's going to chat about it with us, and then we'll just see where the conversation goes. We're going to kind of
meander.
Yeah, we're going to just chat today.
We're talkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Karen, thanks for being back on the show. We've missed you.
And I'm sure everyone misses you. So
Yes.
Oh, and I do get an occasional DM from people who are very sweet. They're like, I miss you. And I'm like, I miss you too.
Well, yes, Liz is on PTO, FYI. We didn't kick her out.
No.
She just is on vacation.
She has a life.
she's still with us.
Yes. So,
no, it's fun to be back. This is like one of my favorite things that I did about it. So I miss it.
oh, well, I mean,
It's
we
way
had
more
like
fun
5
than,
years
the
together.
P&L and spreadsheets, I will tell you that.
Sure. Yeah.
What? You're not loving spreadsheets after chitty chatting?
And like numbers, we talk often, especially with Liz. Like we don't. Math is a lot.
We
So
don't
You
math.
do a lot more math than we do.
We
Maybe
don't
not
math.
Taryn. I guess you probably do a lot of math.
No, but what I love that I'm sure you miss about the podcast is just diving into a beautiful portfolio and Instagram and like digging deep into like someone's style and their work is just so, it helps me with my job, I should say. So,
Well, and if you're not forced to do it, it can easily fall off of your to-dos.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think in our jobs, it's really important to stay inspired. And so the podcast forced me to do that and forces you guys to do. You have to research your subject and read their books and see their projects. And that's always, it's really interesting how it opens your mind up, and it helps you come up with solutions when when you're not even thinking of it.
Did you feel like the podcast, we're getting off topic already.
we said we were going to. We said no.
Yeah, okay, all right. We've warned you. Do you feel like not being on the podcast, do you do less around your house or do you still sort of tweak as much as you?
No, I mean, I definitely am the kind of gal who will sit in a corner and be like, I got to move that over, or that's too much, or that needs a little something. But I will say that when I'm doing something big, I think we talked about the house that we just got in St. Pete. It definitely helps to see more and know more and experience more and read more and just expose yourself to more, because it gives you ideas that you're not going to think of yourself. I mean, I'm like I say all the time, I'm not a designer, but I'm a really good copier of good designers. And so you have to look at it and it changes, and new ideas come up all the time. So staying current is, I mean, it's a lot. I know.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's a lot of work, but it's fun. But anyway, I don't know. I definitely don't read as many books or dive as deep as I did before, because it takes time.
Yeah.
And I feel like Caroline and I are in the same boat still, where like sometimes you get off, we've recorded an episode and someone has said something that just sets you on fire and you are ready to like rip something out or run to the paint store. I think I think we have done that recently. I know I did, where I was like, today's the day, going to buy the paint.
Right.
Like, I'm inspired. I'm doing it. I'm motivated.
Oh,
So.
100%. Well, that's why I was asking, because
Yeah.
I feel like part of me wonders is, okay, because I'm on the podcast, is that why I'm always doing something around the house, because it's...
Or are you a twerker too?
Yeah.
But if you're not, tweaker.
Oh, sorry. What a slip.
Anyway, okay,
Well, I think major things, yes. I've sort of pumped the brakes a little bit on that.
And now you have another house, so you'll have another little laboratory.
It's ridiculous.
That's super fun. Well, because
You spent 18 years perfecting this one.
Yes.
So...
And this one is very calm and serene, and I think you have a cohesive color palette, and it was so fun to hear about your...
Branching out.
Yes! All the colors and the greens. So I'm loving that you've like totally flexed a different muscle at a different home. So
It's fun. It's fun to have a different personality there,
a different side of yourself that you can express.
Yeah.
Well, and it's such a different location, and we've talked so much about location as well, because I've always thought, oh, how fun it would be to do a lake house, because I feel like as a color person, it would be such a pullback to like
Would you go more like
more-
earthy?
Yeah, I feel like I would want to because I would
Woodsy,
want
yeah.
to feel more calm and
Uh-huh.
where I feel like in my day to day I like the punch because I like the energy or whatever. So I do
Yeah.
feel like it would be different energies. Anyway, so I get it.
Yeah, it would be the reverse of this, which is funny because
Yeah.
like this is your sort of like sophisticated like neutral color palette, and the beach is like where you're kind of letting loose with color, but you would be doing the opposite because your everyday house is colorful, you know.
Well, too, you
This
know,
lake house is fake. So
Yeah,
right, my
Start with that
pretend lake
anyway.
house. Okay, wait, who was it that we had on the podcast? A local Atlanta designer, and she had done an '80s lake house. Remember, she didn't really want to do it. Who you're going to remember this, Caroline, because you have a photographic memory.
Susan
Farrier.
Susan Farrier.
Susan
Oh my
Farrier.
god.
yes, I remember
Yes.
that one.
And she was saying that, you know, you have to be very careful with a lake house because you don't want to compete with what you're there for, which is the lake and the exterior. So your interiors, but you know, they take the back seat a little bit to your exterior. So it's very dependent on your locale. I am not on the beach, so I don't have to worry about competing with my exterior. All my exterior is the neighbor's house.
Yeah.
But I get it, you know, and you have to sort of embrace your zone.
Yeah. I loved that episode. I love Susan Farrier so
do
much.
too.
I have such a girl crush on her. Like her
And her
Ugh.
work is just
is incredible.
so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. We
Okay.
totally got off topic.
Okay,
We're going to chat. I want to start with
a work
what we're
topic.
here for, which is our fearless leader is going to tell us about a new development.
You want me to just talk?
I want you to
Karen,
talk.
just start because now the anticipation
Great
built
intro.
way too
That
big.
was a really great way to tee that up.
That makes it sound so dramatic.
It does very drama.
No. Well, so everyone lived through the pandemic, right? And it was just so crazy in so many ways. But one of the ways that really sort of was a sock in the gut for us was all the price increases, and not just the price of the product and all of the materials and all the labor overseas, but also all of the freight rates and all the cargo costs to get anything here. And so, I mean, just to, you know, cover our costs, we had to raise our prices. And a lot of that pricing has gone down. Not all of it, but some of it, especially like the freight rates. And we're definitely seeing concessions from our factories for labor costs and material costs and all that stuff. And so the good news is we have lowered prices on, I mean, it's close to 1,000 items.
Oh, wow. Okay,
yeah.
I didn't know it was that many.
That's a
That's
Yeah.
a lot.
And really like top sellers, you know, like
Yeah.
our Tuscan collections, which is the number one collection in the whole company and has been for many years. You know, that's a big collection, and so it's not
Yeah.
just a lot of like, you know, little piddly things, but
Yeah.
a lot of, you know, a lot of big, expensive in my mind items we've been able
Yeah.
to pull back on pricing on, which I'm so glad we're nimble like that we can pass on the savings, because I mean, we want to give as much value as we can for every item. You know, Taryn, you're designing things every day with the idea of, all right, how do I make this beautiful, but how do I engineer it so that we're not paying for things that we don't need in a piece. And so, yeah, that's it. That's the whole story. The end.
Well, it's not the end. Okay. Because I do feel like you should clarify, because when you say freight rate, people are thinking shipping, but I would imagine most people think of the shipping to them.
Oh,
But
good point.
within the company, we know that that's not really what you mean. Or
Right.
that's not all of what you mean.
right. Well, yeah. Well, so UPS still hasn't lowered their prices. Let me just call them out, UPS. They raise their prices all the time. And so they have not taken away their pandemic surcharge or anything like that.
Yet.
But,
Maybe once they hear that.
I don't know.
Maybe we can.
Not
I
yet.
don't know.
So that would be when you're talking about the price of shipping something to a customer,
Yes.
right? But what I'm talking about with freight rates is getting something from the factory in Italy or from the factory in Indonesia or Vietnam or the Philippines or wherever. All that stuff is packed into a container and then put on a ship. And I think we talked about this.
Yes.
Like some of the ships had full dozens of containers fall off the side during COVID. I mean, we had every crazy thing happen. You know, there's only so many boats. There are only so many containers in the world. There was a container shortage. So getting a container cost more. Getting space on a boat costs more. Getting the fuel for the boat, everything. It was just something like 10 times as much. Usually it costs like under $3,000 to get a container from point A to point B. And they were like $30,000 for one container. So when you're considering...
So it's normally 3, but it was 30.
That's an average. Yeah. Just depending on what port and where it's going.
Sure.
And then you'd get it to LA and there would be nowhere to put it because all the boats were sitting in the water waiting for a space because there weren't enough trucks to pick it up from the port to drive it to warehouses. Gosh. So it was a big mess. But it's mostly ironed itself out now. And so, mostly. So, yeah. So now we have too much stuff. No, I'm just kidding. We do a little bit. Buy more stuff, y'all. But
now they can. That's what's beautiful about this.
You could get nothing before, so now we're definitely back in stock.
It was across the market, though. I think everybody felt anybody who was like, "Oh, I'm stuck in my home. I would love to redo it. How much and when?" was really frustrating. I feel like for any consumer, even us, who
Sure, and I think that before working at Ballard, you think about okay, if I'm buying an item, what are the costs that go into the item? Okay, materials, I understand that. The labor to make it, okay. But I do think there are a ton of other costs that if you are working in it, you're like, oh, I would have never considered that as a thing to the packaging and the freight and just there's a lot
of behind
that goes into it. And so when you raise prices, people think oh, they're just trying to rip me off, and that's not at all what goes into pricing an item. Yeah. We want you to buy it.
Oh, yeah.
We want to make it compelling.
Our margin structure hasn't changed in, 40 years. But just the cost of things go up.
Yeah.
And labor. I mean, you want people to be able to make a living, right? You want to be able to have a living wage. So labor goes up and all that. So yes. But it can add up really quickly. And then it's not inexpensive. It's not inexpensive, but I will say that is really one of the reasons that we are so careful about the quality because we want, when you do receive it, we want it to last for a long, long time. We don't want it to be a disposable item that, you have for 2 years and it falls apart and then you have to buy again. You want it to be something that your family can use. And I can't tell you how many items I've purchased from Ballard because, of course, I'm a tweaker or twerker. That I've passed along to friends or to my children, and I go over to their houses. And one I still have, but and I don't pass them along because they're broken. It's because I've fallen in love with something new.
Yeah,
and I want to update or something, and I'll go over to friends' houses. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot that I had that coffee table 15 years ago. And they're like, oh yeah, I still love it, Or it happens over and over, and both of my kids' apartments, and it just
totally.
It all just
we
keeps
have a Ballard table
around.
in our family that has gone through 4 of us. We just keep circling it, whoever needed that size dining table and shape.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
And it's just literally been this rotate. Yeah. And I agree with you. We had friends over this weekend and they just hadn't seen our home or whatever. And it got kind of embarrassing
because you're like, where's that from?
Yes. Ballard. Yes. Literally, we even made it to the outside and they're like, oh my gosh, these shades, these are so pretty. Where are these from? And I was like, do I need to continue to tell you? I've worked. Yeah. So I was like, yep, that's Ballard too. So, and it did. It felt like, I think that's what's great about it is it doesn't look like one period of time because we've evolved through time too, stylistically. And so it at least doesn't feel like you slapped one company into a home and called it a day. But
totally.
But it is funny when all of a sudden somebody's asking where something's from. And then they continue oh, where'd you get this? And you're like,
what do you think? Yeah.
I'll give you one guess.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
And I mentioned this earlier, I just did a little video for the Homeworthy series. And they...
On YouTube.
It's on YouTube. And they have people just tour you through their home, big and small and grand and cottagey like mine, and sort of talk about it. And one of the things that I talked about on there was having worked at Ballard for 20 years, million, that it's important to me that it doesn't look like a showroom, like you're saying. You don't want anyone to walk in and be like, oh, you just,
that's page 87.
You must have just opened up a new credit card at Rooms to Go and, furnished your home. You just don't, you want it to reflect you. And so, and there are lots of ways to do that, and I talked a lot about it, the kind of the details of the house and we've all talked about the things that we drag home in our laps from trips. All those little things. Those are the things that personalize the house and make it a reflection of who you are. So it's not just Ballard. Because your house certainly doesn't look anything like my house or Caroline's house, right? Because it has your personality.
But we have so much of the same stuff.
Well, we were just looking at Karen's sofa because she was talking about it having a spill on it. And of course, from like looking at it from the side, I was like, wait, is that my sofa? Because it's in a different fabric. So I was like, wait, that's not no, that is my sofa. Because again, I have like a throw over the back because the kid, it's exposed to like traffic. And so with lots of little kids and a dog, like I just did this pretty throw that we got in Patagonia, like across the back. And so, but it's striped and bold colored, and then I have bold pillows on it. So comically, I literally didn't picture it. I was like, wait, that is the same sofa. Wait a second.
Yeah, because mine's white.
Yeah.
So it is fun to just see what we've done with the exact same shapes and the custom, like how we've customized them so differently.
Yeah.
And made them our own, but it's the same frame, same.
Yeah. Well, and I also just love being back in your house because, we used to record every podcast here, but I don't think I've been here in probably 4.
You haven't?
I mean, it's been a while.
It's been at least 3 years. I mean, I think it's
probably pre-pandemic, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
And like there's a lot that's the same, but there's a lot that's different. And I know, just having been at Ballard, not as long as y'all, but still a while, like certain items, I'm like, oh yeah, like I love this console. That was a great one. Like we don't sell it anymore. But like there's so many items that you have that are very old, but they still look great and you're still using them and you've like rearranged. And I just kind of goes back to your point about like, you can keep it for a long time and we want you to keep it for a long time.
And I think it was funny because I was looking at I was trying to find a picture of something in my house to show a friend. And I was looking. And then I was like, wait, is that my living room? What was in there? What was I doing? Where did that lamp come from?
Yeah.
And so I think rearranging things in your house, and it just helps it stay alive and fresh and doesn't become super, boring to you. I mean, you live here. You don't want to look around and be bored all the time. And so shopping your house, we talked about this before, moving lamps or moving art or moving accessories, or like Suzanne does, Suzanne Castler, pull all the accessories together and then re-accessorize the whole house.
I feel like we just set that.
I know. I say that every time.
Because it is.
Because it does
such
feel,
an
it's what
exercise.
feels like such a big undertaking.
Well, we also talked about how it's a big undertaking in the sense of I need 5 hours to do it,
right,
where no little hands currently are able to.
Like I would need to take a day off work.
So that's your mistake, is having children.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we get to the core.
You told us literally before we had kids it was a mistake. So I'm giving you the validation you deserved.
Okay. You were right.
So I actually last night, I have this chandelier that has all these glass balls on it, and we had found we were cleaning out our basement. We had 9 hours without kids. We'd shipped them off for the day, and we were cleaning our basement finally since we moved in. And so we found a whole package of these glass balls still. And the electrician put them on, like, when we moved in. So
is this your dining room chandelier?
Yes, my dining room chandelier. And it's big, large, medium, and small balls on this metal cage, essentially. So,
are they hollow or are they solid?
They are hollow glass balls with like a little
that go over a bulb.
Yes.
Oh,
no.
No, they hang.
They literally hang by little S hooks on the outside of this metal cage.
Okay.
So they just cover a metal cage. And then there's a chandelier inside, a 5-arm chandelier within the cage.
Get on the Instagram and check it out.
Well, no, I've seen the, I guess, in my head.
It just looks
it just looks like
how it's constructed.
Yeah.
So at the time the electrician put it up, I didn't question it, whatever. So we, anyway, found these extra balls, and I was like, am I supposed to have this many extra? Or is this like, did he not hook them all?
Maybe
so then I'm like
breakage.
Diving between the balls, like trying to find the S hooks on this frame. And like, there are a few. So I'm like, there's no way to shove it in because it's weight. Like as you add balls, you have to start at the bottom in the tiered levels of this cage. So I'm like, I gotta take them all down. But I hadn't dusted it since we moved in. And so it was like I might as well take it all down, but I tried to do it during a quiet time in the middle of the day. Like I was like, I can get this done in an hour.
If anyone
and
touches
of course,
those, like
little hands came, snack time. And I was like, middle of like, dusting these glass balls, and like, of course, Elliot, my oldest, is like puts his hand on the glass balls, and was like, we are touching. Like, and I was like, so I closed the pocket door to that room, and I was like, nothing exists in there. We're not walking that way today. And I did get them all up last night. So anyway, point being is taking down the accessories. I need to do it.
Yeah.
But it feels daunting because I have asked this because we're like, but it's the leaving it in the middle of the project because you've now covered some surface.
Yeah.
Decluttering.
It's a commitment.
So
and then you have to really be an editor, which is hard because you'll look at being like, I love that thing, and but it doesn't need to live outside the basement for a few months.
There have been
hard.
times where I've been like, I wish I could call like Natalie Nassar or Jenny Branch and be like, will you come
over?
Just
Rejudge.
Yeah.
Why can't we do that?
I bet you can.
Oh, I'm sure I could.
I'm
but
totally
that just
DMing one of
feels
them.
so ridiculous,
Why?
Right? No.
I love a fresh eye on
Absolutely.
things.
I know. I think they would do an incredible job.
I think I have a heavy hand. I could use someone with a lighter touch.
Well, and I think like
Very nice way to say you feel like a hoarder.
It's a little bit true.
I like the heavy hand. No,
Yeah, it's
you
a nice
don't,
turn of
but
phrase.
I understand what you mean by you like a good layering, and you could probably take a layer.
And I like things. I
objects.
I'll look at the item and I'll be like, I really like you, and it has a memory in it, and I want it somewhere where I can see it, and then suddenly I have too many memories.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to be objective about your things. We talk about that all the time, but having a third party like there to be like, no, that looks good, or no, that looks terrible.
I think you need the third party when you're not in the room, unless they're.
You mean like you leave, so they don't hurt your feelings?
Because if some girlfriend asked me to come over and help, it would be hard for me to be really honest. Where I'm like, that is a disaster. What are you doing with all these? They're all ugly.
That's fair. Yeah,
that's true. Okay. I bet you could actually set everything out, and then you'd be like, here's your spaces I need you to do. Here's all the objects that can go on it.
And I'm going
leaving.
out.
And then whatever's left, what happens with that?
Pack it up.
But I would like if I were to have like Natalie or Jenny, they are professionals, and I would be like, I'm paying you to just come.
Yes, and then they would feel they have to be honest with you.
Yeah. Although leaving probably is a better idea anyway.
Yeah.
So. Well, because then you get to live any HGTV show where you can go,
exactly.
You'll have a reveal.
Have y'all seen that cry?
Have y'all seen that one where the woman hated it?
No.
And she was like, absolutely not. She hates the whole thing.
No!
What show is it?
That episode.
It's one of those where, like, they come in and they renovate a room for you, and she hated it. It was hysterical. She's like, I told you I wanted blah, 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 and what is this? And they were like, well, we thought this was a room. And she's like,
Oh my gosh, I need to Google that. Yeah.
It's the best.
I can only imagine those directors being like,
no, I'm sure they were like, this is amazing.
Okay,
this
so it could have gone either way.
Television.
It could have gone either. Yeah, you're right.
Well, what new stuff have you been up to in your St. Pete house, and like any new favorite products you've tweaked in your collection recently?
Chairs.
You redid your chairs.
Superwoman.
Oh, yeah, they're making noise. So, these dining room chairs that we're sitting on right now, which are Ballard chairs, and I've had them for 1,000 years. And
I loved this collection, too.
Oh, yeah.
The lacquered,
it has sort of a lacquer gray finish. And just in full honesty, the outlet used to be connected to our office. We've talked about that.
Yes. Dangerous.
I bought these 6 chairs at the outlet. They must have come up from a photo shoot or something, and they had cream fabric on them. I had them for years. And, with kids and all that stuff, they were just getting dingy and kind of picked. And, I'm sure we all spilled food on them and stuff. And so I was ready to have them recovered, not refinished. And so, of course, I fall in love with everything that's on clearance. So the fabric on the seat backs is a fabric that is gone now because it was in clearance when I bought it. But then I followed your lead, Caroline, and copied you and I
copied a designer.
Yeah, see? Got pleather on the seats, and it's white, which sounds like a little bit cheesy. Do y'all think it looks cheesy? I don't think it's cheesy.
I love it.
Yes.
It's way cheesy,
This is why
Karen.
We came here.
What were you thinking?
So we could tell you. No, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I feel like it's going to last 100,000 years, and you just wipe it off, and
being able to spray it and wipe it with a paper towel is the greatest feeling.
And I've noted too, like I wear dark denim. I have this one pair, and and it'll, what do you call that? Get on your fabric. There's a word for it. But like magic erasers right off of here. Where's fabric? It would ruin it.
Yes.
Ruin it.
True.
So anyway, I love them, and they work really well. So I've done that. I am getting a new rug in my dining room.
Ooh, what are you doing?
Well, so I didn't convince. I had a girlfriend who needed a new rug, and I really liked her rug. And so I helped her pick out a rug from Ballard for her living room.
And you're going to buy it from her?
Well, I was like, I'll buy it from you. She's like, you can just have it. So I have it. It's in the guest room. I just haven't rolled it out yet. It's
Are
really
we going to do it
pretty.
right after we record?
Sure.
Let's do it.
We
We'll lift
can
the
do
table.
a
We've
whole
got the
before and
manpower.
after.
We're
here to help.
Yeah.
And it's just a super neutral wool rug. And this is the needlepoint rug, and it's too delicate for a dining room, even though I've had it in the dining room like 15 years. So it's,
it looks great.
It's getting
still.
a little beat up.
Oh,
The
for being under
edges.
chairs,
Yeah.
the needlepoint looks fantastic.
And, I'm breaking the rule about only having one animal print in the room because I've got the pillows,
Okay,
the
well, the pillows,
Serengeti pillows,
Uh-huh.
along with the leopard rug. So, but
It's
I
like
can't
a teeny
help
tiny little tiny bit
myself.
of, yep.
I can't
help
stop
myself. Every room has the animal.
I know, I can see zebra in the back of your house, like in
yes.
my line.
Yeah.
Mhm. But it's not the same room.
No, it isn't. There's
And
a
they're
little
all
in
a
every
neutral
room.
color palette.
That's
so
right. It
it's-
ties it together.
yeah.
Although I have thought about putting the Serengeti pillows down in my Florida house because
They go
Okay.
with everything.
they go with everything.
It is a new, that is
the
when
E-cot down there. That
neutral.
what does that panel have? Andros.
Yes.
or
Andros,
something?
yeah.
The green
Mhm.
Andros E-cot
Yes.
drapery, and I think the
So bold.
Serengeti would be really fun with that. Everything down there is sort of blue and green, and
Uh-huh.
I want to throw in a little animal. Why not?
I think it will be high energy.
I mean, it's an easy, if you don't like it, it's not a big commitment.
True.
True. Just like bring it back.
And okay, so I have my other project I did down there because I have a long list of projects for that place. But you
Of
know
course,
what?
yeah.
In 18 years, I might be nearly done. We'll take our time. So the house is like a 20s bungalow, and it had a dark green, like dark emeraldy green marble fireplace around. And I just felt like it was very dark for the room. It's sort of white walls and
Yeah.
light. And
It looked black in the picture, but it's green. Okay.
And I really love that encaustic tile that has pattern. And I really thought I would go a lot bolder on the pattern, but I ended up going with a fairly conservative kind of light blue and white medallion. And so redid it with that. I love the pattern on there. And it's just a lot lighter. And I just love it. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
And then I had a mantle. I got a mantle, just a plain beam mantle off of Etsy.
very nice.
Oh, how did you get it off Etsy?
Etsy.
Huh.
Okay. And the gentleman who did it does, whatever lengths, and you can pick your finish and your
And he ships it to you?
depth. Yes.
Wow,
It's a
that's really
magical
cool.
place.
I
Etsy
do love
is
Etsy.
magical.
It's a great, yeah.
It is very, very helpful.
Mhm.
But
Did it lighten up the room?
oh my gosh. Yes.
Because I imagine your eye went straight. If that was the only dark thing in the room, you just constantly saw
Yeah.
it.
And I was a little, I don't know. I was a little nervous because I don't know. I was like, am I taking out something that I shouldn't? And then I was like, whatever. It's fine.
You mean the marble?
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's great. And did I tell you I got these like cheetah? They're not actual cheetahs, but all right, so they are like a cheetah, but they are cheetah andirons, brass cheetah andirons from
fun.
Frontgate. Did I tell you this?
No.
They are awesome. So I got those from Frontgate, and those sit right there. They're really cute.
Okay.
And then I'm going to get our Miles Red glass
I love that.
screen.
Yeah.
It's just super simple. There's hardly anything to it except the brass hinges.
That is a great fireplace screen.
Yeah, so
Yes, it
simple. So I've got that on order. So because right now it's double rewards during the Memorial Day weekend sale. That's when we're recording, if anyone's
Yes.
wondering. So I do have the Ballard credit card, and I love double rewards. So I have to buy it during double rewards.
And we just put a ton of stuff on clearance too. I was like, I just ordered a party table because it was like cheaper than like Amazon
Mhm.
even.
I have one of those. They're so great to pop up
Mhm.
and use for extra seating.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I did recently, and it's taken me a very long time to finally get on this train, but I ordered our Layton pleated lampshade, and it's like a lampshade, and it has sort of a brown, it's sort of like a sandy colored background, and then like a brown kind of
Block print.
black. Well, yeah, I guess it's a black print. It's sort of a it almost looks like a fleur-de-lis. Anyway.
How big? Like a 1-inch pattern?
Yeah, it's small. It's
small.
it's like a ditzy print. And put them on these like antique marble lampshades that I've had in my TV room, and was just like, oh my God, these look so good in here. I mean, I kind of ordered them on a whim, and they were on back order, and then I kind of forgot about it, and then they arrived, and I was like, oh my God, this looks so good. Anyway.
I ordered one of those during COVID.
And were you happy with it?
I love it. Of course, it was on back order. I'm not kidding, for like 9 months. I had a customer email me. And she was like, what is up with your stupid pleated lampshades? Why is it taking so long? Mm-hmm. And they're made in the U.S. And I was like, girl, same. I ordered mine.
You're like, I just want to get mine before you.
And I had like quite a few conversations with the planning department and the merchant. Like, what is with these lampshades?
Yeah.
Why are they taking so long? And it was a million reasons because of what was happening. You couldn't get the fabric. You couldn't get it was just a million
probably really
reasons.
High demand.
Mm-hmm.
Like
so
everybody
it did
wants
take
them.
something like 9 months.
And it's also an item that you order, and you might order in multiples. Like, you're not just going to order one if you have a pair. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, and people couldn't go into work and make lampshades during the pandemic in the U.S.
Among many other
there was a lot. Anyway, she was like, "Really, you can't jump to the front of the line?" I'm like, "No, there's not some secret stash of lampshades that I can.
We're not hoarding them. Yeah, we're not hoarding them for ourselves.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Go in Karen's basement, and there's like thousands.
Yes,
I'm just hoarding them, waiting.
Sorry, to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. But I do love the pleated lampshades. I think they're fun.
Oh my gosh, a printed lampshade right now is everything. It can just add so much more visual. It's so good.
Fresh lampshades are important.
Yes.
If you have I think Miles Red is the one who told us this many years ago. Remember when he was sitting in my office eyeballing my lampshade because he hated it so much? Do you remember this?
What was the lampshade? Was it just...
It was bad. I don't know. It didn't fit the lamp. I think it was blue. I don't know. He did not like it. And I was like, wait a minute. Are you stink-eyeing my lampshade right now? He's like, I actually am. But he was saying that, he loves old lamps, antique lamps, vintage lamps, like your grandmother's lamp, whatever. But the thing that's going to date a lamp immediately is an old shade. Mm-hmm. And you've got to update the shade and make sure you've got something that's current and stylish and doesn't, look like it's falling apart.
Yeah.
Some of those old silk shades, they just fray and they die and the heat kills them.
Yeah,
and
they're around a hot bulb. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the thing that I liked so much about these, especially in my room, because I have that sulking room pink, which Taryn also has in her bedroom.
I love that color.
It's such a good color. I'm still happy with it. The lampshades that I had, and these are just sort of like classic marble
columns.
Yeah, like
round or square.
Well, they sort of have like an urn shape in the middle. And I just had like a white shade on it. But the white was just too stark, I think, against that sort of muddied, like lipstick nude color. And so the brown-ish color, and then I don't know, it just looked so good.
It's sort of the palette of what you're wearing right now, a little bit.
Yeah, but 3 shades darker than this.
And then, but the brown of the necklace with it,
yeah.
Sort of a mauvey color.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I have like a ton of, because it's such a big sectional, I have a ton of pillows. And they're all sort of like block prints. And so it looks so good. It's just like, that was such a rewarding, but small, like instant change. And it made me so happy.
Yeah, we've been doing, I know on my team, we've been doing a lot more developing. And,
even more printed. Okay.
So
anything
hopefully
exciting?
Of course.
Everything.
Oh my gosh. Let's just say there's some like peacocks and I feel like you're gonna like it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We're doing some fun stuff. So hopefully it all comes to fruition and you guys can continue to jazz them out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you think, all right, let's talk about me again.
Yeah. Let's do it.
I have these 2 bathrooms in Florida that need love. And do you think I should wallpaper them or do some
wallpaper
interesting fabric? Yeah, you just did a bathroom wallpaper.
I did.
You 3? Oh, that's right.
I did 2 bathrooms in our laundry room.
Okay, wait. Let's go back to your option of fabric.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say paint. Did I say fabric?
You said fabric. So, okay.
I don't think I could.
Okay, paint or wallpaper. Okay.
Yeah. So I need to go wallpaper.
What else is happening in the room?
Yeah, we need more details. Boring. Who's using them?
Me.
You and Joe.
Yeah, Joe and I.
I didn't know if, again, one's...
Well, one is technically a guest room. our primary bathroom it's about the size it's probably like 3 by 5. I mean, it's tiny. 3 by 6 with the shower, y'all. It's
that is little.
Okay.
Very, very small. So most of the time, I use the guest bathroom. I have all my makeup and stuff in there.
Okay.
So you do use it pretty often. Okay, that does change.
But they're both very neutral, white tile.
Okay.
So you could do anything.
Yeah. I think you do wallpaper.
I think if your tile and your hard surfaces are pretty plain, then you, I mean,
Go with a bunch of pattern.
Yeah.
Now, do you worry about the color of the wallpaper reflecting on your skin in a negative way? Do I need to do a color that's flattering to skin tones, or does it matter?
Is there natural
As you're putting
light
on
in
makeup.
these?
I have not.
One of them there is, one there isn't.
Okay, so there's a window in one of these bathrooms because I do think natural light also plays.
Sure.
with
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, so our bathroom now, I did a wallpaper. It's like brown and blue. Our previous, in our old house, I had wallpaper in the bathroom and it was blue. And I would say blue is generally a flattering color, but not necessarily for makeup application.
Well,
I don't really think that it made a big difference.
I imagine the size of your mirror and the lighting in there would be.
That's more important.
Maybe if it was like a really bold red or something like really
mustard yellow.
Because then if the sun hits that and then reflects on you. But I'm sure if you're picking a pattern.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is good. This is why I missed the podcast, because it's my own personal design intervention.
Yeah.
All right, I need to figure this out.
I just think that there's no substitution for the personality that a wallpaper can bring to a bathroom, because a bathroom usually has very little personality. It's like a solid tile, a solid vanity.
And you can't over accessorize it because it's just gross. Like everyone wants it to be a very sanitary place. So like any kind of tchotchke stuff is like, no, get out of here.
Yeah.
So
and
that's why the walls.
There's not enough surfaces for for accessories anyway.
What do you think about art in a bathroom?
I love art.
Okay. I love art. I like things to look at, especially as a guest. If you're like, curling your hair and you're like staring off into space, I love having things.
I just shoved a ton of art in our bathroom here. On whim, I was in our store and they were doing, like a end of season, we're moving out new product, getting whatever. And I'm like, I'll take this and this and this. And I got all this art with nowhere to put it. And because I just thought it was really pretty. And so these two very large pieces of abstract art that had a lot of blush in it. And I'm walking around my house literally anywhere.
Well, blush is great in a bathroom.
So I put it in our bathroom and I love it. It's, it's really big for the wall. I'll send you a pic. It's really cute. I love it. And then I have our blush towels in there, which I think is so pretty with it. Yeah. So I'm into that too. I love the art in the bathroom.
I would probably do stuff that's like not super valuable and things behind glass.
Yeah.
But I mean,
just because of moisture. Is that why you're saying that? No, I agree with that.
Like
I mean, not that I have any valuable art, but like
a
if
powder,
there,
different.
Yeah, a powder room is different.
Faux show.
I mean, I think. Whoa, I was gonna say in one of our like first apartments, we had this kind of like cheeky painting that Will's grandparents had given him, and we ended up hanging it just because we kind of did this gallery wall, and the way the bathroom was laid out, this painting was right over the toilet, and we have never gotten so many conversation starters or comments about a piece of art, but every single time a guy came to our house and was
staring at it,
well, it was right over the toilet.
Yeah.
So when they're doing their business, they're staring at it and reading the funny quote. And so, in certain situations, behind the toilet is a great place for an unusual piece of art.
You know what? I just got
a conversation started. There you go.
I just ordered one of this is on clearance now, so hurry if you want to buy one of our woven animal heads.
Oh, yeah.
So we have an elephant and we have a deer. And I've always thought they were adorable. And they were based on antiques, I think we found in some cute market somewhere.
I have a giraffe. It was a sample that we didn't do.
Oh, okay. So I got the deer and I have in the guest room down here, I have a piece of art that's just leaning on the back of the toilet, but it just felt empty above it, and so I put that up there.
Uh-huh.
Did you get the deer?
Cute. I got the
Okay,
deer. It's
It,
so
like, fills it
good
in.
in
It's
there.
awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, that is the best kept secret of Ballard. I think all of our best stuff goes to clearance.
Well, I was thinking I should
Don't you
do
think?
an Instagram series of what I bought that's now on clearance.
I agree. That would be great. Like, because we always used to talk about how, oh, I got this on clearance. No one bought it, but we don't know why because it was so good. And our clearance section is highly,
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I just got
it's very
these
good.
new Suzanne Kessler coffee tables that are now on clearance. Does anybody know the name? I don't know. Maybe we could
I think
link
it starts with a T.
T.
Um,
They're good. Tubular.
yeah.
No.
They sort of have like a travertine. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. But
They're
it is
really
travertine.
amazing.
They're stone.
Yeah.
They're
they're great
very
looking.
pretty.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. I think people assume that because it's in clearance, like it was bad or people didn't like it or there was
Not
never
always
know.
the
something wrong with
case.
it.
Yeah.
But sometimes our coolest stuff is just too
cool for school.
well,
knows?
it's out. It's maybe it's like a little bit different, and so it didn't
Well,
sell great or something.
And again, we're all different.
That's
Why-
right.
Why is
True. What
It's
we
so
think is good.
special is like what you think is really special could be different to me, and
Yeah.
that's what I love is that we have such an eclectic mix that some things resonate stronger in certain people than others. And again, like I probably didn't even think about those coffee tables, but seeing them in Karen's home, I'm like, oh my god, I need
They look
those.
so good,
right? Like just seeing them in a new context, and I'm like, okay, I can see now how so it is fun to see
Yeah.
just a difference that can
But
make.
just even things in this room, like this table, we don't sell anymore. Love this table. That console, like I loved that console.
I did too.
I have a ton of Miles Red stuff that I'm like, why did no one buy this? It's so good. But
I know. I look
know.
around this room. I feel like everything in this room is on clearance.
well, that is okay. Going back to your conversation about people coming through your house, that is sometimes I think when that happens to me, I feel guilty because they're like, "Oh, where can I get this? Is this from Ballard?" And I'm like, "Yes, it is, but we don't sell it anymore." So it's kind of like,
Sorry.
you can't get it, but yes, it is Ballard.
But thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I feel like because we moved in, we have quite a few new things too. So I have been like,
that's true.
oh, do you want this Mathis sofa?
Yeah.
Let me
good
send
one.
you a link. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have, and then even like the Madison Shays or whatever we have. I was easily able, and then I got recently the striped our umbrella canopy because I had one of our umbrellas. And I just needed a new canopy because I wanted to make it
You can
feel
switch it
more
out.
shishi. And
Yeah.
so, it's the cornflower and white.
How did your
umbrella cover.
towels
It looks
go?
so good.
I feel like one of the last times we talked, you had gotten some Target towels.
Yes.
Did you get the
I have not bought the Ballard leopard print, but I did check, and they
did
match perfectly, and I will be
They're
purchasing.
very cute.
They're
I saw
so
them in the
cute.
store.
Yeah, I finally went to the store and
these are
saw
so
that,
cute.
and had the pillows are same striped, the blue and white stripe cornflower, excuse me, pillows with it, and it looks so good that I was like, oh yeah, I'm purchasing those.
I kind of want.
And it sounds like with double rewards, now
Yeah.
is the time.
Now's the time.
Do you have a credit card too? I don't have a credit card.
Y'all are dumb
know.
if you don't have the credit card. I'm
I
just
know, I'll
telling
probably
you.
need one.
Well,
you are
just
dumb.
I'm putting this in your review. Okay. Let me text your manager.
No, you're right.
now.
I should. I've spent enough over the years.
Oh
and
my
I'll
gosh, yes.
be here a while. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, my cousin is getting married, and he registered for a bunch of our bedding. So I bought it when it was double rewards. And I was in the store the other day down in West Palm Beach. By the way, we have an amazing little store in West Palm Beach. Go check it out. And I was buying some towels, and he was like, "Do you want to use some of your rewards? You have $500 in rewards." I was like, "I what? What?"
Yes, I do.
amazing.
Yeah, it just adds up.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
adds up, especially when you buy things during double rewards.
Yeah. Okay.
I have those Madison Chaise as well in my backyard, and I've had them for a year. I love them. I love the sling because this doesn't have a cushion, so it doesn't get wet. And I have the Bermuda and white striped pillows and umbrellas.
Is the
so cute.
sling on the Madison the same as the sling on those SK campaign Suzanne Kessler?
No, it's a
campaign?
mesh.
Yeah, the Suzanne Kessler
thought that was
campaign shirt is
canvas.
a mesh. It's a mesh.
Oh, I don't know. I thought
It's
that
like
was
a sunbrella
canvas.
mesh. I don't know. I have a little bit of trouble cleaning them, so I wasn't sure if there's like
This is
something I should
meshy
do.
mesh.
This is tech.
Yeah, this is mesh. The Suzanne Kasler campaign chair. It's not fabric.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
own those, if you can believe it. I do like the look, but where would one put them?
She actually doesn't. They're not here.
Damn
it. Almost. So close.
Anyway, I was cleaning them this weekend, so that's why I was
Well,
thinking about
the
it.
chaise have replaceable. You can buy
Oh,
new
yeah.
slings.
Okay.
Do they have that for the
I don't know.
chairs?
I haven't asked.
I bet they do.
I bet
Because
they do.
I wash them in the washing machine, and they are cleaner, but they're not white anymore.
It
You know what I
can't be
mean?
the same. I don't think you could
Mm-mm.
wash.
I feel like we're not on the same boat.
Mm-mm.
You're going to have to report
Okay.
back.
Okay.
I'll drag you outside
I'll ask
after this
Kelly.
and make you look at the chaise. And you
I've
can tell
seen the
me.
chaise. I feel like it's the same.
Okay. Yes.
I'll
Then.
ask Kelly.
Let's go with yes. It's the
Yeah.
same.
Anyway,
Mm.
I could probably power wash them or something. It's fine. Sorry, I didn't mean to take this off topic.
No, it's totally fine.
Okay, well, I think the moral of our story is the wrap up to our episode is we reduced some prices. Go check out our clearance section. Get Ballard Designs credit card. And
Watch my Homeworthy video.
Yes,
it's
and
very
watch Karen's
cute.
Homeworthy video.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm excited. I want to see it.
I mean, we used to talk, because we recorded here, we talked about your home a lot. So I
Well,
think
yes.
everyone will love actually seeing it.
Yes,
like,
agreed.
in full.
I walk through a lot of the detail, including the basement bar, which is fun.
Well, I was gonna say, and we did the tour of your basement years ago on our Instagram, and I remember people loved it, but we never did the upstairs. So
Oh.
now they can see the upstairs.
Now they can nose around
Yeah.
every little corner, and I blab on and on. It's
And they can
really,
see your
Is
home
it the
office?
longest video?
It's like 30-something minutes.
30 minutes. Oh my
Of-
gosh! But I love those. I love the long ones.
Well,
yeah.
sit down with a glass of wine because it's going to take a
Do
minute.
y'all, will you guys watch those kind of videos like in the evening instead of like bad TV? Like
I
I
don't
will, I'll
right
say,
now.
but
If
I
Joe's
should.
here, that's a no. If Joe's not here, I would.
yeah.
mm,
I like those AD tours where
Yes,
Architectural
But
Digest
that's
takes
short.
people.
Those are usually
they're-
like
Mhm.
they're
9
short.
to 10 minutes.
and
yeah.
House and Garden, like the UK one, so
I do,
good.
yeah.
And it just keeps playing, and so you just keep getting sucked into the next home.
Yeah. There's a channel called like Designer Home Tours. And they're not 30 minutes, but I love her
Mm-hmm.
her videos, or I guess it's a her, I don't know.
And the quintessence ones. Oh, so
yeah,
many
and
good
Quintessence,
home
yeah.
ones. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
thank you. I can't wait to watch it.
Yes.
Well, it's my pleasure.
Okay, yes. We'll put a link to the home tour in our show notes
Cool.
so people can see it.
Yay. And
All
I'll
right.
send you the before and afters of my fireplace
Yes.
tile.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Let's see
Hopefully
that.
people like
Yes.
it. If you hate it, don't tell me. Just choke it down.
No feedback, please.
All right. Well, I guess that's our show. Thanks, Karen, for chatting with us. Oh, my
my
gosh,
pleasure.
we miss you. And I know that our longtime podcast listeners will be happy to hear an episode with you.
Well, whenever I get lonely, I'll make you let me come back.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we talk every time. I think we need to do like, at least quarterly or something, a couple times
you
a year.
need a big trial or triumph, and we'll let you on.
Okay.
You know,
yeah.
like
All right. I have to
I feel-
submit them for approval.
yeah, but like
Okay.
if there's a big
Yeah,
one,
give us a heads up.
Yeah,
Sure, yeah.
I had a really good trial last week, so you're gonna have
it
to
was-
come to the table.
All right.
It was
I'll bring my
dynamite.
A game.
Your trial was dynamite.
There's winking going on.
That's a terrible end to the
I know. It was the first thing I could think of related to
Erase.
fire.
But yes, please do.
Yeah.
Okay. I shall. Thank
Cool.
you.
Thanks.